Sweeney here, and welcome to Friday Reload number 20. Wonderful number 20. Now, this week we have a few cool, interesting news stories. Also have some good case studies, a few things about skills. Kind of a switch up from most weeks, but there's a lot of great content this week, and I think it's a really strong, good reload. So, if you haven't been with us before, what is a Friday Reload? Well, we help you get caught up on what you might have missed throughout the week with the Friday Reload. It is short, sweet, and just the meat. So I'm cutting through the fluff. I'm summarizing the best posts, news, and videos of the week. So instead of you following 30 blogs, getting all these emails, getting overwhelmed, not being focused, you listen to the Friday Reload, you read it, you watch the video, you're all caught up, you're good to go. And you stay in the know. Just because you should be focused on your business doesn't mean you shouldn't be aware of what's going on around the industry and what's happening and being ahead of the trends. So with that being said, some of our top stories this week: 33 strategies to get more clients, the #1 skill all entrepreneurs should learn, and 95 ways to find customers and more. So for our very first story, we have creating a successful mobile campaign to drive traffic. So this week we had on Jack Scaling, who tells us about his recent successful paid mobile traffic campaign. Now he takes us through his learning process and what ended up working well for him. He tells us how we should optimize for mobile traffic in general, and it's a really great interview, and what I like is that it taps into the huge traffic source that's being ignored by most: mobile. Mobile is great right now. Competition is extremely low, and inventory only keeps growing and growing and growing. Now, next up, we have a few different news stories, all of which are pretty interesting. The first one, let me jump back to the blog here. First one is Google gets a patent on using what you're watching to influence search results. So, by detecting the TV show that you're viewing, Google could provide relevant results, and the system is already a part of Google now. Now, Bill Slawski, an SEO patent guru, posted on his blog that Google was recently granted a patent around the concept of using what's currently playing on your TV to influence your search results. Now, isn't that kind of crazy? It does make sense, though. If you're watching football, for example, and you Google something, what's the possibility that it's likely related to what you're currently watching or an ad you just saw? Same sense if you're watching a TV show. It does start to feel a little creepy, though. As much as I love advertising, I love better targeting, and I love better demographics, it kind of feels like that's a little much, doesn't it? At the end of the day, Google is kind of, I think, on our side here, though. They're just trying to provide more relevant results. They're not trying to be creepy. They're just trying to be better. Next up, we have eBay, who is set to offer in-app mobile advertising. This is kind of big. So eBay has announced that it will open up its mobile app to brand advertisers at some point this fall. Quote here: "Now, for the first time, we're giving you the opportunity to connect with eBay users throughout their entire shopping journey," writes the company on its website. eBay mobile advertising will be a native experience beautifully integrated into the eBay app. So by adding native-style mobile ad inventory, it'll allow eBay to offer advertisers comprehensive exposure to users across eBay's properties, whether they're logged in on the web, on the mobile web, or on the mobile app. Now, because eBay's ad targeting relies on account logins rather than cookies, it can target and track users across all devices using first-party data. Data, data, data. Another big boy jumps into the advertising realm. Pretty exciting, especially with Amazon also starting to throw their hat more in the ring. Next up, we have another somewhat related to advertising story: Search Preview in Apple's iOS 8 coming to the iPhone in 1 week. So iOS 8 is going to do two things here. It's going to bring Bing to spotlight search results, and DuckDuckGo will be added to default search options, as well as Hey Siri for voice activation. Never heard of DuckDuckGo, or you think I'm talking about a child's game? DuckDuckGo is currently the 4th most popular search engine, I want to say, in the United States. So it goes Google, Yahoo, Bing, DuckDuckGo. But DuckDuckGo is currently primed to overtake Bing in the search replace and sit at #3 behind Google and Yahoo. Their advertising inventory will also start growing rapidly, though. It'll be interesting to see how the private search engine will approach targeting. Now, when I talked about this a little bit more, I found out that DuckDuckGo is actually, I believe, a part of Bing's network. So I think if you advertise on Bing, you can tap into DuckDuckGo's inventory that way. So it'll be interesting to see how this progresses. I am not aware of what kind of deal they have, or if Bing maybe bought out DuckDuckGo. I don't know. But DuckDuckGo, what makes them different is that they are a private search engine. So all of these create a pretty interesting mix, and it's going to be a shift of inventory. And you're having trouble with Google AdWords. Hey, there is other places to go. Next up, this is a quick tip, and this comes to us from Hitin Shah. He posts the SaaS Weekly, which is a cool little service I subscribe to. It's different software as a service related articles throughout the week. He started, I believe, with Neil Patel. It was Crazy Egg and Kissmetrics. I think they started both of those together. So, anyways, the quick tip. It is this: require a comment before canceling your product. So add a required comment box before people can cancel your product. His friend, Ruben Gamez, was interviewed recently and mentioned this tip that I told him. One of your greatest sources of qualitative feedback is when people cancel. So make sure you ask people why they're canceling before they can actually cancel. Now, the responses will help you discover what problems people have with your product, which will lead to improvements you can make. I like this. I mean, I don't like making people jump through crazy hoops to cancel, but I don't think a comment box is asking for too much. Obviously, they can write in whatever they want, and they don't have to answer it truthfully. But I can see it being a really good way, at a very good point, to get good information on why people are canceling after all. Next up, we have one positive Pigeon Results. 5 local SEO metrics you should focus on instead of rankings. Now, this is what the article points out. Local rankings are a dying metric, especially with the fluctuations of Pigeon. So why not start reporting on metrics that actually matter? Many SEOs have been calling for an end to monthly ranking reports for quite a while now. Unfortunately, clients will still see ranking reports as the best indicator of SEO success. My take on it: I don't know if I completely agree. Those of you who are slightly unfamiliar, I believe this is the practice of SEOs reporting where you're at in the search engine results. So say you sell pizza in New York, you moved up a little bit for pizza in New York, you're at number 36, now you're at 23, and these are your other keywords and how you're ranking for them now. I don't think that is dying, but I do value the importance of focusing on metrics that matter. I think metrics are a very important part of any business and something that you need to be in touch with and constantly on top of to know where your business is at and know if it's going in the direction you want to go or not in the direction you want to go. So they list a few different top examples. Here they are. Number 1, organic traffic. Track your organic traffic compared to the same period last year. Number 2, organic landing pages. Organic landing pages can be really insightful. Number 3, organic conversion sources. Number 4, Google My Business impressions. So since map pack or carousel views don't necessarily lead to website visits, it's important to show your client how their Google My Business listing is working for them. This might be getting phone calls or physical visits from map pack views, which you can't track in your reports. So showing an increase in those impressions over time helps to prove ROI. Number 5, clicks for driving directions. And number 6, this is kind of a bonus, and they talk about call tracking. So I also highly recommend phone tracking. And if you are currently, or if you're not, you should check out analytic call tracking to find out how you can easily start tracking your calls. This is a game changer for client reporting and for proving your success. Now, if you do check them out, make sure to tell them that Digital Triggers sent you, and you will get a special discount. Seriously. So to close it out, deliver reports with metrics that matter. Again, your report should deliver metrics that matter to your client's bottom line, not pages and pages of data they don't care about. Better reports with actual data will result in happier clients, which means job security for everyone. Next up, we have Epic Online Market Research Blueprint for your SaaS, digital, or physical product. So this comes to us from Nikito, is the name of the blog. They do a very awesome job of boiling down the research process so you can understand your market with a few simple questions. Before we jump into it, why does this matter? You should be doing market research. If you want to have a successful product, this key, this is to actually do some research before you just put out the darn thing. So I really like how they cover how to do the research. So the three questions is, what problems are you solving? How does it result in positive feelings for users? And who else is selling something similar? Now they have a list which they borrowed from the definition of awareness in Eugene Schwartz's famous book, Breakthrough Advertising. Here are the top five. Here are the 5 different levels. Number 1, the most aware. Your prospect knows your product and only needs to know the deal. Number 2, product aware. Prospect knows what you sell but isn't sure if it's right for him. Number 3, solution aware. Your prospect knows what result he wants, but not that your product provides it. Number 4, problem aware. Prospect senses he has a problem but doesn't know there's a solution. And then number 5, completely unaware. No knowledge of anything else except perhaps his own identity or opinion. So they go through and they talk about these a bit more. And then they also give a case study in different sites and tools that you can use using Squarespace's case study. And they drive through this market research process. A few of the things I really like, they talk about SpyFu. They talk about Moat, which is different ads online. So researching your competitor's ads. That's a really good way to see, when giving only 7 words, how are they selling their product and from what angle. They also talk about using Reddit, for example, to get more up close and personal research. So our next story is 33 ways to get more clients. Now, I just want to point out to those of you watching the video, this is a wonderful image. I love this image. So siteclientflow.io provides a big post on different ways to find new clients. Some of these strategies you've probably heard before, but they include helpful advice, resources, and tools for each. Now, here are a few of the ones that I liked, that I saw, and that is number 2, partner with agencies. Number 11, use Twitter search. Number 17, write a playbook. Number 18, start co-working. Number 20, send a handwritten letter. 21, piggyback on platforms. 27, write a case study. I think a lot of people are underutilizing that. No one sells better for you than proof and testimonials. So if you write a case study on what you did with a client, for a client, and how you created all this different business, all this new business or increased their revenue, that's going to convert. And then number 28, this one is pretty interesting. Create controversy. So he tells a little story here. Market Tiger told me a story about a local design client named Justin who took a controversial approach to land a new client. Justin found a company in his home country of New Zealand who he thought could benefit from his services. He then bought the crappiest beer in New Zealand and visited the company's headquarters. He walked into the CEO's office, placed the beer on his desk, and said, this beer is like your website. It's nice on the outside, but tastes like absolute crap. After discussion, the CEO agreed, and Justin left with a contract to work on the company's website. Might be a bit too loud, so to speak, or bold for some of you, but I definitely like the approach. Next up, 95 ways to find your first customers for customer development or your first sale. So this is 95 different ways, and what's great about this list is it focuses on telling you where to look. It's not the theoretical, hey, this is how you get customers. It's like these are actionable things you can do customers or your first sale. So Jason Evanish has a few tips on using the post. He says, number 1, your initial goal should be learning. Number 2, understand you're going to have a low success rate. Number 3, don't worry about scaling. Number 4, remember your manners and personalize. And number 5, don't get banned. Now, it's a pretty long list, so I'm not just going to jump through this whole list, but a few of the places that he mentions to look through. Linked, and so he gives, maybe 3 to 6 different ways to use these locations. LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, email, Meetup, your blogs, other blogs, offline, existing user base, Craigslist, forums, Google AdWords, newsletters, complementary startups, your competition, data research tools, college, leveraging the physical world, Kickstarter, YouTube, your own product, and mobile. Pretty good. I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed by this list. I mean, 95 different ways. I'm sure if you're struggling for a new way to find customers, this list is going to inspire you. Next up, tool time. So we have Quill Engage. Now, what Quill Engage does is it generates automatic Google Analytics reports. Google Analytics is a super powerful tool. Most of us probably aren't using it enough. Why? Well, it's kind of a pain, to jump in and dive in and navigate the dashboard and do everything. It's sometimes a little bit more trouble and work than it's truly worth. So that's why I don't think people are utilizing it as much as they should. So I really like these kind of weekly reports that are done for you. So what Quill Engage does is it's a free tool. It connects with your Google Analytics account and emails you a weekly summary of your data. It also tells you about your site's traffic growth or decline, where your traffic came from the previous week, which post got the most traffic, and much more. Now, what also makes it stand out, what makes it different, is it uses an artificial intelligence engine to process the information and deliver it to you as if somebody wrote a report explaining all of the important information. Here's an example. Your traffic increased 25% week over week to 42,500 sessions. Direct sessions drove the biggest increase, growing 84% to 15,689 sessions. This was originally spotted by Ian Clearly, so shout out to him. Personally, right now, I'm using Brief Metrics. I'm still part of their 10-week free plan, I think, and then they charge you. But I'm going to check this one out as well, because it seems like it might be, I'm not even sure what the price is. Yeah, so I think it's completely free as of right now. So, hey, can't be free. I'm going to start using it. I'll report back if I do like it. Next up, BuzzSumo. So if you haven't heard of this tool yet, it's probably one of my small, as I say, it's quietly becoming one of my favorite tools. Search Engine Land recently posted a review. BuzzSumo ups the ante in content analysis. You can also use it on a social level. There's different ways you can use it. Now, they recently came out with a pro version, which is covered in this post. So if you haven't used it before, check it out, BuzzSumo, not to be confused with AppSumo. And if you're considering upgrading to the pro version, then check out the short little review here that Search Engine Land has. Next up, we have free voice calls from Hangouts. So Google announces free voice calls from Hangouts. You can make voice calls from Hangouts on Android, iOS, and the web. It's free to call other Hangout users. It's free to call numbers in the US and Canada. And the international rates are really low. So keeping in touch is easier and more affordable than ever. Now, personally, me, sitting behind a computer all day, I'm a walker and a talker. I like to generally get on the phone and go for a walk. That's usually how I do it. But I think this is a great option for meetings, and other phone calls. So maybe you're around the house or the office and you're going to be on the phone, still tapped into Wi-Fi, or your service is good enough. And now you don't have to, waste those minutes. You can cut down on your minutes and maybe cut down on your plan. Hey, not a bad move, right? I know we're using Skype currently for, our kind of Friday meetings. I wouldn't mind checking out Google Hangouts. I feel like the quality might be a little bit better. I think, too, I believe this is Google Voice, just kind of repackaged back into Hangouts. Next up, this kind of works well piggybacking off of tool time, because skills are almost like a tool in a way. So this blog post comes to us from Pat Flynn, and he really hits the hype on the head with this one. The number one skill all bloggers and entrepreneurs should learn. I tried, and hear what's happened. So to spoil the surprise, the skill is speed reading. So here's his pitch on it. After only 3 days of practicing the methods and strategies taught to me, I can already see this one new skill will, number one, help me earn more time. How much time? I'm calculating approximately 200 hours per year, which is equivalent to 5 40-hour work weeks. And there's potential for more. Imagine what you could do with an extra month of time in your calendar year. Number two, help me learn faster. Help me learn and execute faster. In a very Neo-like fashion, I'll be able to consume information more quickly, understand it, and then put it to use. Number 3, allow me to help others even more. Who exactly? My audience, readers, and subscribers, but also my family, friends, and people all around the world. So the new skill, as he says, is speed reading. Now, why is reading faster important? This is where he breaks it down. In the past, I've talked about the importance of becoming efficient and shaving time, even seconds, off repetitive tasks, because over time, those tiny tasks can add up. For example, us bloggers, we type. We type a lot. Typing right now, and as soon as you begin your next blog post, or even as you start writing a comment below, you'll be typing too. Slower typers have a disadvantage. We don't think about this very often when we're building our online business, but it's true. 2 years ago, I took a typing test to see how fast I could type. I remember scoring 75 words per minute. Not too bad. I haven't tested in a while, but I just took a 2-minute break from writing this post to see what my score was, and I finished at 94 words per minute, a 25.3% improvement. In the Forbes article featuring Jim, he talks about how reading fast is an incredible superpower, and I agree. The quote, "Reading faster means learning faster, which means being able to make a difference." Testing it out, Pat himself noticed that he read the introduction his old way at a rate of about 25 lines per minute, which equates to 192 words per minute. After using the technique that Jim teaches for chapter 1 of the book, he read it at a rate of 35 lines per minute, which equates to 280 words per minute. That's a 46% increase in words per minute. And he goes on to state that he's getting faster and faster as he practices. Now, what's interesting is he says not only does this shave time off of his reading, but he actually understood the content even more, and he can remember more of it. So, in an update to the post, he says he was able to clock in recently just under 400 words per minute. So compared to the standard of 192, that's over 100% increase. That's pretty crazy. Now, in the blog post, he has a link to a video, which is about, 40 minutes. So that'll help you kind of start off on your journey if you'd like. There's also a pretty well-known Tim Ferriss blog post on how to speed read better. It's worth checking out. I think I don't know if I'm gonna do it this weekend, which means I don't know if it's gonna get done, but it's something that I want to do. I've always stayed away from speed reading because I'm afraid that it will, you won't. I guess the comprehension will go away, and it'll feel too much like a chore rather than something that's enjoyable. But I can definitely, after reading this post at least, see the benefit to it. So I'm going to try it out. Next up, we have the content upgrade. 21 examples of the strategy that's changing blogging. So I've mentioned this before, and I'm going to mention it again. The content upgrade is a must if you're doing any kind of content strategy or blogging. Lead Pages covers 21 different examples and the top 8 tools for rapidly creating high-value content upgrades. If you're not sold on content upgrades yet, they've been noted to produce up to 20 to 30% opt-in rates on blog posts. Now, put simply, a content upgrade is a lead magnet or an opt-in bribe that's created specifically to be given away as a free download on an individual blog post in exchange for a visitor's email address. Now, they are basically, I don't want to say impossible, but the best way to do these, they should upgrade the existing content. They should utilize the 2-step opt-in process made famous by lead boxes, and it should have multiple opt-in points. Really, guys, if you're doing any kind of content marketing, blog post writing, you should be doing this. I mean, heck, I'd be interested to see how well a native ad would work with just content upgrades. Next up, for my PPCers, we have why keyword themes and modified broad match equals a winning PPC strategy. I know Google's been shaking things up a bit recently, so that's why I wanted to include this in the reload. So they go on to say that cutting out noise and creating a PPC strategy that drives business, it's the goal of search engine marketing professionals everywhere. So let's talk about how to do that for real. Now, by combining ad group theming and modified broad keywords, you can create targeting that rewards you with qualified traffic right away, and a structure that rewards you again and again by delivering even stronger target keyword sets. So if you're in PPC, worth checking this out. I'm not going to dive into this much more than that because, as usual with most Conversion Excel posts, pretty long. A lot of pictures, not really easy to just briefly cover on a reload. Next up, we have 2 posts focusing on building relationships. So both Pat Flynn and the podcast Answer Man cover building relationships this week to grow your business. So the first one, how to grow your blog audience by building relationships with other bloggers, the ultimate guide. Now, Pat says you must be actively building real relationships with other bloggers online and off. In his opinion, there's no better way to grow your blogging business and create real life-changing opportunities for yourself. He said if he could go back in time and give his younger self some advice, it would be, Pat, dude, first, lose the bowl cut. Second, and more importantly, the best way to get ahead in life is to get to know and build relationships with as many people as you can. When you get a job in the architecture world, it's not going to be because of your resume. It's going to be because of someone you know. When you lose your job in the architecture world, it's going to hurt, but other people will be there to guide for you and will be there to guide you. Search for those people, find the ones who you trust to inspire you, and let them guide you. It's all going to work out, but one thing's for sure, you cannot do it alone. And he has his 7 steps on how to systemize relationship building. Let me scroll it down here. Here are the 7 steps. 1, develop a mindset of helping others first. Now, this is very important to relationship building, and that's why I want to make a note of it. The best way to build relationships, help other people. Number 2, create a roadmap to your future. Number 3, before reaching out, lay the foundation using social media. Number 4, how to email busy bloggers and get a response every time. Number 5, get offline and start attending conferences and events. Number 6, create a system for following up. And number 7, how to measure ROI and optimize your system. So he covers these in detail, including pictures, and goes into a few of these. And definitely worth checking out. I mean, I can say relationship building is a huge thing. And in this online world, it's so easy to forget. And so often we get caught up, just kind of in this shouting mechanism, I feel like, online, where we're posting and we're trying to get our point across and we're not trying to listen to anyone else. And real relationships and sales and conversions and everything come from conversation, talking back and forth. It's the one weird part I don't like about this reload, I have to speak it, and it's sort of my one-way conversation. And I enjoy the interview part of having a two-way conversation much more. Now, next up, we have Cliff Ravenscraft, and he's the podcast Answer Man. And he talks about building relationships with your audience and getting to the next level involves surrounding yourself with people who are at the level you want to achieve. So he covers a similar angle, but he also talks about building those relationships with your audience. I've included a few of his points here. You may feel intimidated by the level of success of others. However, you wouldn't be surprised by just how much value you have to offer them. The difference between earning your way into a circle of influence and buying your way in. Sorry, those were 2 separate ones there. You become the average of the 5 people that you intentionally spend the most time with. There is no one right format for a podcast. Create a show that you have in your heart to create. Next, once you have decided that you have all the answers, you have decided that you're ready to stop growing. And getting to the next level involves surrounding yourself with people who are at the level you wish to achieve. I think that's a pretty big one. Getting to the next level involves surrounding yourself with people who are at the level that you wish to achieve. Then we also have our honorable mentions of the week, and we closed out this week with a big old carton abandonment infographic coming from none other than QuickSprout. Carton abandonment is a big deal and a very easy and great way to increase your sales. Now, the honorable mentions for this week are all a lot of good reads. A little bit less of the standard kind of case study type stuff I might go after, and a little bit more of the what the bigger companies are doing and why. A good mix. So the first one, why Amazon has no profits and why it works. Next, how to combine Screaming Frog data with Google Analytics data. Next is Peter Thiel disagrees with you. The next article is why Apple Pay could succeed where others have had underwhelming results. We also have a landing page roundup, the 10 favorite pages from August to September by lead pages. Always good if you need some inspiration, maybe on your offer or your call to action, your headline, or you just kind of want to see design-wise what other people are doing. And then 10 awesome testing ideas from the Conversion Pros at Call to Action Conference. So if you want to check out that cart abandonment and how much it is costing you, which I highly recommend you do, head on over to digitaltriggers.io/Friday-reload-20. And if you go to our homepage right now, obviously it is there, digitaltriggers.io. So check that out. Everyone enjoy your weekend. Quick note, I should be in Vegas from the 30th until the 2nd. So Friday reload for that week probably will be later in the Friday, evening for those of you that are trying to jump on this quick. And if anyone's out there, if anyone else is going out there, I'm personally going out there for War Room, but if anyone else lives out there, is going out there for an event or conference as well, hit me up, let me know. Would love to connect. Always interested in hearing from the listeners and the readers. And always wondering, hey, how can we help you out? What kind of content can we cover? What can we do for you to help your business? So thanks as always for listening, and I hope to see you again on Tuesday. We should have a really exciting interview as always for you guys.